Hello and welcome to Feed Your Mind. So earlier I did a video about sundogs, and on the way home tonight I was driving into my driveway and I looked up and noticed that the moon had a halo around it. So I would suppose that that would be called a moon dog, and I looked it up and apparently it is called a moon dog, and it's the same thing where they're saying the ring around the moon has something to do with ice crystals. But the thing is that this moon dog reflected to me that the moon is not 238,000 miles away. Science wants you to believe the moon is 230,000 miles away for a reason, because right away you're looking at that moon and it looks like it's right above the clouds, and you see that ring around the moon, and that to me indicates that the moon is right above the clouds. The moon is not too far above those clouds, because for the moon to leave such a tight circle like that, with the radius as big as it is, not that much bigger than the moon, you would have to know that the moon is giving off its own light. It's not reflecting light from the sun, it's providing its own light. And when I seen that moon circle, and it was like a rainbow, what I saw. And so when I noticed that tight circle around the moon, you have to know that moon is very close to us. Because if the moon was actually 250,000 miles away, you would think that circle that appears right below the moon, which they call a moon dog, would be a much bigger circle. But if you really think about it, there would be no circle at all, because with the moon being that far away, I don't believe that any circle would occur at all. Because at that distance, how could such a focused beam of light reflect? Because if you have a flashlight and you move the flashlight close to the ground, you'll notice how the circle will be a tight circle. And so you'll notice with this demonstration that I did with the flashlight, that the closer you get to the carpet, the tighter the circle gets. And you see, you can even recreate this moondog effect with getting the flashlight as close as possible to the carpet, and then you start to notice a ring around it, and then the outer ring, as you notice in the moon, is actually very similar to this demonstration. And so this is repeatable, observable, scientific demonstrations where we can get answers. And so you see, the moon had to be close, because you'll notice that the farther that you move away from the carpet, the circle becomes less and less dense. And as you move farther and farther away, the ring becomes less and less visible. It kind of just becomes like a regular light in the room where the entire room becomes lit up. I mean, you can kind of make out a circle shape, but it's just not really there like it is when you move in very close. So this demonstration of a moon dog seems to imply that the moon that we're seeing is very close to the clouds. It's not 250,000 miles away. It appears with how tight that circle is around the moon must have been much, much closer. I'm guessing, anywhere from 300 miles to 1,000 miles away, as a rough guess. I mean, I have no idea how far away it is. It's just that we know for sure that it wasn't 250,000 miles away, just due to the tightness of the circle of the moon dog. And so with the clouds being so high in the sky and the moon not being terribly far from it, it can give off a focused beam of light like that. And this is not the first thing I've witnessed. Just not even a week ago, I filmed a strange occurrence, because I've always noticed this one star in the sky, and it shines brighter than all the other stars I've ever seen, and it looks like it's not really far from the surface of the earth. And I've seen it once before, maybe twice before, and it's very striking, because when you look at it, it looks like it's almost hovering above your head, just not too far, even closer than the moon, it appears. And so I finally captured footage of this star. And I suppose many would call it Jupiter, and that's what I'm guessing, because they would say how Jupiter is such a massive star. It really is a star. See, people think it's a planet, but the scientists already admit that Jupiter is a gas giant. It's a star. I almost made a video about it last year, but I never got around to it. And for this star to finally appear again, I immediately took out my phone and grab some video footage of it because I was going to describe it to you guys about a year ago, but I didn't have the footage and I never really seen that star again. But now that I've seen it again, I was able to quickly grab some footage of it and maybe we can analyze this. So what is this thing? I mean, when you're out there looking at this star, it looks like it's much closer than any other celestial object I've ever seen before. And I remember one year it even looked closer. And so in the Bible, Lucifer was actually referred to as a morning star. So in Isaiah 14 verse 12, the Bible speaks of Lucifer as a fallen star. And it says, "How you have fallen from heaven, O shining star, son of the morning. You have been thrown down to earth, you who destroy the nations of the world." So you see how it's referring to Lucifer as an actual star that has fallen. And we have discussed in earlier videos how meteors are actually falling stars. So they're not actually solid rocks. And there's plenty of evidence to back up that meteors are not physical objects. Meteors are actually fireballs and they're actually falling stars. And the Bible speaks of a third of the angels falling from heaven. And this brings into question Nibiru and Planet X and Wormwood. And I'm going to make a video about that very soon because a lot of the Christians believe in this Planet X that's going to come down from another galaxy or something. And they actually believe it's orbiting around the sun and it takes a lot longer to make its journey than any other planet in the solar system. So when it finally comes around, there's going to be big trouble. But the thing is, when they speak of Wormwood, they're actually speaking of a star that's right here in the sky. And we don't know what these stars are. So when you look up in the sky and see stars, there might be good angels, there might be bad angels. We don't know what they are. But the Bible refers to stars many times as angels. And you just saw right there how Lucifer was described as a star, but then he fell. If you guys have seen this star that I'm talking about that looks very close, I feel it actually is very close. The thing is, what is it? And so this star was behaving very strange. It almost appeared as if it was possibly sentient. And another thing about it is it was the only star in the sky. And I really felt like it was watching us. And when I saw it the first time, it was literally above the house. And the thing is, the first time I saw this star, it was way before I even knew about the dome firmament. And so I didn't even consider the possibility of the star actually being much closer. I didn't understand that stars don't have to be trillions of miles away like we were told our whole lives. And I looked up, and when I saw the star, it looked like it was right above my neighbor's house. So from what I've been seeing about stars, they kind of behave a little strange. We don't know if they're just simply lights in the sky or if there's more to them. And I've seen movement of stars. I think people mistake those for UFOs all the time. And we've seen how the Bible refers to stars as angelic beings. And even Satan himself was once a star that fell to earth, which would be a meteor. And so stars, we have to wonder about what they really are. They're definitely not what science has been telling us. They're not burning suns in the sky. And if you think that star was Jupiter, it was definitely not millions of miles away. You can tell that the star was very close. And the moon that I saw with the moon dog circle, the halo circle that indicates a close moon, that was definitely not 250,000 miles away. The moon was very close. Now, if you want to know much more information about how the moon is not what you were told, I'll leave a link in the comment section in the description box where you can get up to date on all of my moon research. Simply enter your email address at feedyourmind1.com. That way I can send you some cool news briefs throughout the week. It's completely free. Please chip in $1 to $5 to my Patreon page. I'll hook you up with some free videos before they come out. Plus, I have some other cool gifts and surprises for you over at patreon.com/feedyourmind. I'm giving away free collectibles from my Feed Your Mind pop-up shop. Simply like, comment, and subscribe, and include your favorite flat earth proof to enter. Please click your notification bell. This has been another episode of Feed Your Mind. Thank you for tuning in. Signing off.